Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for everybody that views our show. Don't forget to catch us every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. That is the Friday Fix. Be jumping off, no politics. 1 p.m. Pacific time. That is the Sunday Town Hall debate show. We're gonna give it a name. It's over. We didn't BS. That's on us. That's on us.
Absolutely.
And the world's getting a little different.
Absolutely, man. How are you doing though? You good?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I can't complain. You know, I've succumbed to what's happening now, and I'm just watching the chaos and the world burn. And I'm happy I got my tax returns. I'm probably never gonna get them again, but
you called it when you said I saw the king, the crown on Trump's head. You actually called that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really thinking like,
there's a picture of it right there.
Election
official from the White House. I told you. I was like, look, and I bet your cousin $10. I told you he ain't leaving.
It's sounding like he might not.
He's not going to.
If his health can hold up,
he gonna stay there forever.
Absolutely.
Even if his health don't hold up, bro. Like you got Elon Musk there with the AI stuff. They just gonna put a fake AI Trump up. You ain't got to see him. You know, they're gonna put a fake Trump AI up. They're gonna do something to his kids, so they don't ever have to come see him. He don't ever have to. Look, it's over. We are in a dick. He said himself. He said, "Long live the king."
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Like, you want to start off? You want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right. GOP lawmakers beg Trump to spare their states from cuts that they publicly support. Republican lawmakers are publicly singing praises of President Donald Trump and tech billionaire Elon Musk as they take hatchets to federal grants and civil services. But behind the scenes, many are privately begging the White House to spare their own states, the New York Times reported on Wednesday. A week into his presidency, as their slash and burn campaign to remake the government has begun to affect their states and districts, some Republicans have tried to push back subtly in subtle ways, wrote Maya Miller and Kate Edmonds. For example, some Republicans have sought carve-outs and special considerations for agricultural programs, scientific research, and more. And even as they cheered Trump's overall approach. As one example, Kate Britt of Alabama, whose state has received more than $518 million in NIH grants for project currently active there, told a local news outlet that she would press administration officials to take a smart, targeted approach to cuts so as to not hinder life-saving, groundbreaking research at high-achieving institutes, such as the University of Alabama of Birmingham. Meanwhile, several House Republicans representing rural areas introduced a bill that would move the Food for Peace program from the U.S. Agency to International Development, USAID, to the Department of Agriculture. And Senator Jerry Moran privately asked Trump to let food aid shipments currently sitting blocked at a U.S. port resume.
So
I mean, it's called cutting off your nose to spite your face.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
That's exactly what it is.
Now you look at the nuclear plant down in Pantex. It was a Pantex plant down in Amarillo, Texas. The same thing we just discussed on the last show, where they had 30% of their staff was cut. But this staff right here, they said, oh, these are people who deal with putting together the warheads for the for our nuclear arsenal. And so they got their staff back. But I was thinking at the same time, I said, no, that's probably just something in Texas that they need 30% of their workforce. That's a huge amount of workforce. On top of that, in Amarillo, Texas, where this place is already kind of more of a desolate area of Texas. So they're probably making a lot of money. So imagine how much money 30% of your staff is probably bringing into that town. They're probably making hundreds of thousands of dollars per employee. When you're dealing with nuclear materials, I'm sure you're making very good money, especially government money.
Well, think about this. The people, my bad to cut you off. People that run the parks, right? There's people like when you go to your state parks, your national parks, whatever, there's people that live there and they do the groundskeeping. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of all that. All those people, think about all those people that worked them jobs. They just lost their job and they lost their home because they lived there. I
mean, when you start, I think they just got rid of 6,000 IRS workers. 6,000. we gotta look at this for what this is. I mean, red states, if you guys are gonna talk about this like you love it every year, oh yeah, get rid of all these people. Don't get mad when it's hurting your state. When you work for a concrete company, or say you work for a roofing company, and you're not getting as many contracts because a lot of people here have lost their jobs, which is going to affect your work. People who make that kind of money pay for services like that you give out. I mean, it's not like you're getting these services from people who don't have as much money. A roof costs a lot of money. This is why you're able to get these roofing, kind of contracts.
Your roofing, landscaping, plumber work. If people don't have the homes, I mean, there's a lot of business. Think about restaurants are going to close down.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of trickle down stuff. That's the real trickle down effect. And people don't understand this. They're like, oh yeah, you're firing everybody because he did it on Twitter. Elon Musk did that on Twitter. That's, running a digital social media site. It's way different. He cut off 80% of the workforce and only has, I think it's like, or 70% has 30% of them working. You can't do that with the American federal government. We have so many moving parts here. And the thing is, they're just firing people without actually doing your homework. You should go and do your homework first, right? Sit there and collect, okay, we don't need this person over here that just takes a piece of paper and runs it down the hall. He needs to go. But the person that reads the paper and says, okay, we need to change this formula on the nuclear warhead, you know what I'm saying? You may need to stay there.
You made a very good point by just saying that just because it worked at Twitter does not work for the federal government, because this Twitter doesn't have, aren't dealing with waterways, aren't dealing with pollution, are not dealing with nuclear arsenals. They're not dealing with housing. They're not dealing with all these. So I can go and cut most of my staff. And if I make a mistake, I can figure that out by hiring 1 or 2 people or 10 people or 20 people. This is not good. This is not how the federal government works. This is a problem. And it's going to be a huge problem in red states. Where are they going to go find jobs comparable? They're going to have to leave and go to a blue state to find a job that's even comparable, or where they going to go work at your local. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure where a nuclear engineer, wherever they are, is going to go work in Amarillo, Texas, and make that same kind of money.
Think about it. Some other countries get, trying to hit you up. They're like, hey, you can come work over here. We'll pay you twice of what they're paying you.
It's pretty much what you're setting us up for. You're setting us up to put us in that kind of a position. But when did you not think about these things? And was it just a good idea because you felt like you're socking it to Washington, D.C.? No, federal employees work all over the United States. This is a spread out thing. They thought that those people in Washington, D.C. are going to go need new jobs. No, buddy, you're going to need a new job too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just about them. There's federal offices all over this country, federal employees all over this country.
Imagine you were a Republican, right? And you're like, vote for Donald Trump. And then to come to your work 2 months after he's in there, like, you're fired. You're like, what? What? Wait, I voted for you. Like, yep, you did. See you next time.
You see the guy who reached out by letter. So I'm not mad at you. I know you didn't do this on purpose, but my wife was supposed to move to a new position in her job somewhere else. But that position, she quit her old job. We packed up everything and we're about to move. And then that position got shut down because of the cuts that you came in and made. I know you didn't do this on purpose. Can you make an exception for my wife? You know what I mean? Like, is this a joke? Can you make an exception for? You think he cares about your wife? No. They don't care, but it's not even about this right here. It's about them looking like they're paying for this massive tax cut, this massive money grab that the wealthy 1% is going to take. This is what this is all about. Period. That's all it is. It's like, look, they're trying to make it not hit as hard when they do the tax cuts. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, it's crazy. Like, this isn't even the end of it. The trickle down of this is going to be, our country is going to stop moving. You know what I'm saying? Usually, see, people don't understand this. When a new administration would come in, you know what I'm saying? The government wouldn't stop working. They might do the little government shutdown stuff, but it doesn't stop working. Nothing, the status quo, that's what the judge blocked. He's like, we don't need the status quo to stop. Your status quo is going to stop. The funding, look, the research they're talking about in here is like cancer research. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've done this to yourselves. You've done it to yourselves, and you can't even. And some people are so prideful. I mean, you can be prideful all you want while you're holding up a sign, because you're not going to be able to get Social Security. You're not going to be able to get food stamps. You know what I'm saying? You can't get Medicaid, Medicare. That shit's out the window. They're cutting those services too. They're getting. Think about it. You've doomed yourself to homelessness and hunger because there's no safety nets anymore. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what the next safety net's going to be.